and today we're going to be talking about red meat. This right here, in a varied diet with lots of other real whole foods, is exactly how we're meant to eat. Forget everything you've been told about red meat and saturated fat sending you to an early grave. No, it won't give you a heart attack, and it certainly does not cause cancer. Quite the opposite. Red meat is essential for optimal health, and I would go as far as saying that it's a superfood.
What?
You know, there's a reason our ancestors have been eating this stuff for millennia. We've been fed lies about this nutritious superfood based on very questionable research and hidden agendas when it comes to your food, and it's costing you your health. The truth is, red meat, like this slab of steak right here, is a muscle building powerhouse, and it's jam-packed full of protein, essential vitamins and minerals that your body actually craves. For some reason, red meat is a really contentious and divisive topic, and there's a lot to say, so I'm not going to fit it all into this video alone. So I'm going to reach out to your logical brain here and ask you to critically think. Why would a natural source of food that comes from Mother Earth contain such high amounts of crucially important nutrients needed for human health if we weren't meant to consume it? It's almost like nature designed it that way. Curious. If you were to believe all of the headlines, you'd be scared stiff of it, and you'd think it was terrible for the planet, terrible for your health, and that you should minimize it or limit it as much as possible. And I want to show you just how much of a superfood red meat actually is. And if I can make you see that first, then we can talk about all of the reasons why we're led to believe that it's actually unhealthy for you and that it causes disease, which is just mind-bogglingly crazy to me. If you want to know more about how the science on red meat is misleading and why you've been fed these lies about red meat and its true healthy properties, then let me know in the comments below, because I am dying to make that video. Anyway, let's get into it. If you've been following me for a while, you'll know how much of an advocate I am for real whole foods. And not just real whole foods, but also very much animal-based because of its nutrient density. And even more important when talking about nutrient density is the bioavailability of foods. And by that, it just simply means how well you are able to absorb the nutrients within that food. Some foods that you might deem extremely healthy, like a lot of plant-based foods, aren't actually that bioavailable. So you're not actually getting as much of the benefit as you would do if you ate its animal-based counterpart. It contains all of the 9 essential amino acids that your body needs in order to function at its best, especially if you're lifting weights and you want to build muscle and lose body fat. But not all meat is created equal. Quality matters a lot. And it's only really classed as a superfood in my books if it's from grass-fed or pasture-raised, organic, healthy and happy animals. I'm not talking about processed CAFO feedlot animals that are treated horrendously. I'm talking about the healthiest kind of meat that you can eat. Then it is indeed a superfood. Now, aside from organ meats, there's no food more nutrient dense than red meat. And according to Dr. Matt Lalonde and his Kraken Index of nutrient density, red meat actually ranks higher than vegetables. Who'da thunk it? I'm not saying vegetables can't be nutrient dense. Of course, many of them are, but still, that doesn't mean there isn't place for meat in your diet. I say vitamin, it's not really a vitamin, it's more like a hormone. Vitamin D3 is best absorbed by getting direct sun exposure on your skin and through your eyes. But if you live in colder climates where you don't actually get as much sun, you can be deficient. And maybe you just don't go in the sun anyway, maybe you spend most of your time indoors. Vitamin D deficiency is a huge problem worldwide. 1 in 4 adults are vitamin D deficient. In my books, it's the master hormone, and it's responsible for a whole heap of things to keep your body functioning well and healthy. And if you don't get enough of this stuff, it can really, really mess mess with you. From depression to fatigue to hair loss, muscle weakness, bone pain, poor sleep, getting sick more easily, immune issues. Not fun. This is exactly why foods like red meat are so good for you. Now, the most readily absorbable form of vitamin D is the tongue twister. I'm gonna butcher it, but I'm gonna try it.
25 hydroxycholecalciferol.
25 hydroxycholecalciferol. And guess what? Red meat has the highest amounts of it. And don't get me started on the very inferior plant version D2, which your body very poorly converts into D3. Just to give you an idea, you would have to eat 4 cups of mushrooms in order to get the same amount of vitamin D that you would do in a 100-gram steak. And that's if we're assuming that you actually absorb all of that D2 from the mushrooms, which, hint, you don't. I'm sure you've all heard of this. There's heme iron and there's non-heme iron. Non-heme iron comes from plants. Heme iron comes from meat. Now, there's a reason why your doctor will tell you to devour a big, fat, juicy steak if you're anemic. Heme iron, which is found in animal products, is crucial for the health of your blood. In fact, heme iron is what makes up your blood and your muscles. And so if you want to get strong and build muscle and feel good and vital in your body, you have to get heme iron in your diet. Not getting enough is going to make you feel dizzy, weak, fatigued. You'll have heart palpitations and shortness of breath. If you've ever been anemic, you'll know it's no joke. Heme iron is the kind of iron that your body can actually absorb. Unlike non-heme iron that comes from plants, it doesn't absorb well at all. And in fact, if you want to absorb the non-heme iron from plants, eating a little bit of red meat with those vegetables actually increases your ability to absorb the non-heme iron from those plant foods. So again, if red meat was so bad for you, why would it also help you absorb nutrients from plant foods? Like I always say, we are omnivores and we are meant to eat both. The B vitamins play a crucial role in so many things in the body, from like aging to your energy levels, your immune function, your heart, even fertility. It really is the superhero of the vitamin world. If you want to make sure that your brain chemistry is in check and that your hormones like serotonin and dopamine are working properly, then you have to get this vitamin in your diet. If you don't get enough B12 in your diet, you're going to feel weak, you're going to be low on energy all the time. It'll really affect your mood. And that's not great if you're trying to smash your workouts in the gym and hit personal bests and grow muscle, get strong, and lose body fat. I'm going to appeal to your logical, critical thinking mind. B12 only comes in animal products. I'm talking meat, fish, eggs, dairy. If you don't have these things in your diet, you're going to be at risk of not having enough of this nutrient, this really crucial nutrient. And if you ate just 1 to 2 serves of red meat a week, then you're getting that fix. Let me tell you just how important zinc is in your diet. And remember, these are all nutrients that your body can't make them on their own. It has to come from your diet. This mineral is responsible for making your DNA, repairing your cells, growing your cells, building proteins in your body, healing damaged tissue, and also supporting a healthy immune system. Again, those are pretty important things if you want to start seeing results in the gym, if you want to have a favorable body composition and just generally feeling good from the inside out. If you don't get enough zinc-rich foods in your diet, you're likely going to experience cognitive issues, so real brain fog or memory loss and just not being sharp in your mind. You could also experience hair loss, low energy, energy, and again, an inability to heal properly. You know, I always say that how you look is very indicative of your health. When it comes to the health of your hair, your skin, your nails, if you have a glow about you, and if you feel like in your appearance you just don't look vital, I would always come back to your diet. Here's the ironic thing about zinc. It's actually a crucial mineral needed to help repair your arteries, and without it, it puts an immense amount of pressure on your liver to produce cholesterol and get the job done instead. Isn't that curious? That highly absorbable forms of zinc are found in, yes, you guessed it, red meat. Now that doesn't quite fit in with the mainstream narrative, red meat increasing your risk of cardiovascular disease. All I'm doing is showing you how important these nutrients are, and that they can be found and are found in very high amounts and the most bioavailable in red meat. Why would it be so unhealthy to eat red meat if it was jam-packed full of these things that your body needs to be healthy? But that's not all of it. Alongside all of those vitamins and nutrients, red meat is also jam-packed full of essential minerals. And the issue is that a lot of these minerals have been depleted from our soils and therefore depleted from our food sources, plants and animal foods alike, because of farming practices and the use of fertilizers over the years. So our food isn't as mineral rich as it once was. And so it's even more doubly important then to make sure that you get foods in your diet that are naturally very mineral rich in their most bioavailable forms, meaning your body can actually absorb all of those minerals and goodness from the food easily, which again brings me back to red meat. Recent research has actually shifted, and we're now seeing that red meat and saturated fat and cholesterol, the relationship with those things and our health is not what we initially thought. The mainstream media headlines and academics are very slow to get on board because it goes against everything they thought to be true. And humans are funny like that. They don't like to be wrong. It turns out that the quality of the food you eat, the environment in which those nutrients from your food come in, is far more important than the nutrient itself. Not all saturated fats are created equal, not all red meat is created equal, and that nuance is so crucial to get your head around when it comes to eating a healthy diet to support your goals. When it comes to saturated fat, for example, women, especially over the age of 30, if you're approaching perimenopause or your menopausal, postmenopausal, saturated fats are so important for you because they play a massive role in supporting your hormones, and they're also essential for you to be able to absorb the minerals from other foods. So it's not all bad, and I want you to start looking at your food differently and not just believe every headline that you see. Most of us don't actually eat enough protein as it is. It's a real epidemic. If you're a woman who lifts weights and you want to build muscle and you want to lose body fat and stoke your metabolism and feel great, then prioritizing animal-based foods, and in particular red meat in your diet, is so vitally important. We know that red meat scores really highly on nutrient density. We know it's jam-packed full of vitamins and minerals that are super crucial to your health. And ironically, these nutrients are what most people are deficient in, since red meat consumption has taken a decline. Think about that. I'll leave you with this thought. Our ancestors have been eating red meat for literally thousands upon thousands of years. You know, it's kind of backed by this little thing called evolution. It's only really in the last kind of 50 years that we have been taught that it's bad. If it was so dangerous to consume red meat, if it was so bad for your health, don't you think we'd all be extinct by now? You don't have to be a scientist or an expert to use your critical thinking. It's pretty simple. We're omnivores. Eat a balanced diet. Real whole foods, go for quality. That's about it. Hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below if you want me to talk more about red meat. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will catch you very soon in another video. Bye.